Alright, what up, people? We got some nerfs and bonuses today, courtesy of Blizzard. Most of these seem very good for the metagame. I like them a lot. Um, First one is Fyrak going from 20 mana worth of fire spells to 15 mana. Seems fair. 20 was a lot. Ancient of Yore going to 3 armor instead of 5 is pretty important, I think. That's going to, I think, make combo decks have to, or not combo, excuse me, control decks have to work a little bit harder. This guy going from 5 to 4 armor. Oh, no taunt, just kidding. Armor is the same. This one is one that I'm very happy about. The quest nerfs, I think, are very beneficial. So this goes from 5 temporary cards to 6 temporary cards, and it makes the Rift cost 5 instead of 3. This was like, Warlock has incredibly powerful tools, and I think this is a step in the right direction. Same thing with Murlocs. 5 Murlocs was way too easy. In my opinion, the God Hand was turn 1 quest, turn 2 Tidecaller, or Tide Hunter, I forget which one. But the 2 mana 2/1 that makes a 1/1, and then turn 3 coin, Steamfin Thief, make 2 guys, and then your quest is active from turn 4 forward. So now at least you don't have that god draw, and it makes you work a little bit harder. I've played a couple of games since this announcement came out, and it seems very good for the game. Murlocs is no longer just that deck. It seemed like it was kind of the boogeyman for a while. This costs 4 instead of 3 now, which I think is good. There's like a druid spell damage combo deck that's pretty decent. Corpuscle going to 3 mana, pretty good. I mean, for a recursive spell like this that you can just repeat over and over, I think it should have a little bit more cost. Now this card, I'm very happy to see get a little nerfed. 4 mana for draw 2 and get 2 leeches was way too good. So to see that go to 5 is at least helpful. It's still a very good card, but at least it's a lot more fair. Now this one hurts my heart. Sandbox Scoundrel, part of the Rogue combo deck. I've used it with Incendious. You could go on turn 6, assuming on turn 5 or earlier you played your first Sandbox and you have a mini in your hand, you could go mini Sandbox, play Chrono Alert for 4 instead of 7, Shadow Step the mini Sandbox, play it again, and then Chrono Lord doubles your battle cries, among other things, and so then that makes your Incendious cost 1. So then on turn 6, you could put 30 damage worth of eruptions into your deck and effectively kill most people, assuming they don't have lethal on board or something like that. So that one hurts. I think that's going to take some... that's going to change the way that the combo rogue decks have to play, but definitely fair. Definitely fair. 3 mana is a lot to cut off of a card, and I always liked when you could go Sandbox into Sandbox, like on turn 7 or whenever that would be. So Resuscitate, also very fair now. 6 mana, much different than 5. I always thought at 5 it was a little crazy that it gave them Reborn also. So 6 mana, more fair. I still think it's pretty busted, but only getting a 1, 2, and 3 cost minion makes sense. Now this one I think is fantastic also. I've lost to warrior decks that were just control with this combo and the weapon that would trigger a mech death rattle. And I've been one-shotted many times like that. So now this only hits enemy minions instead of just any enemy. So I really like that. I think that's a very fair change, because this guy's very good, but to be able to hit your face is a little too much in my opinion. So this one also hitting the warrior decks. This is one of the ways that they would get the testing dummy into play. And also there's that guy that's like a 130, gets armor and an attack whenever it gets hit with something. So at least makes it a little bit more fair, which I like. Another Warlock hit here goes from 3 mana to 4 mana. Again, pretty good. I think this is a solid card. And they've also got, Warlock's got so many tools to be able to interact with this and other things that I don't think they needed all of the ridiculously costed things. So that's definitely good. This one I'm not sure how to feel about, though. Metal Detector was a pretty phenomenal card. I think it used to be, after your hero attacks and kills a minion, you get a coin. So now it's just Death Rattle, get a coin, which is significantly worse. Possibly still worth playing, but I'm not sure if it's going to have as much impact on the metagame in the decks it was used in as it did before. This one makes a lot of sense too, going from 4 to 5 mana. I still think 5 mana for this is a little much. I would probably put this at 6 if I was in R&D, but that's why I don't work for Blizzard. So happy to see that. Hunter is, I think, I would say not exactly tier 1 right now. But this is one of the cards that can enable some of those ridiculous draws. So, you know, you can argue all you want about Hunter being tier 1 or not, but I'm not a big fan of the class at the current moment. This one also hurts. Battle Fiend going from 3 health to 2 health. I've played the Pain Demon Hunter quite a bit, and it's wonderful how aggressive it can be. But Battle Fiend was always the preferred 1-drop because Sock Puppet only had 2 health. And so Battle Fiend normally could live against Murlocs or other aggressive decks in addition to being able to put pressure. So a little sad to see it, but it does make sense. I think they're trying to change up some of the early ridiculous interactions that Hearthstone has. There's some other wild updates that don't really seem to make too much difference in my opinion. These are just kind of fair. Like Malkazar's Imp, I've played him in past standard season, and I think I played this discard deck in Wild a little bit back in the day, pretty much right after that standard season was over. I loved that deck a lot, and going into Wild, it was even better because you had more cards available to you. But that one seems very fair. But that's essentially it. There's some Battlegrounds updates, but I don't think you guys care that much. Definitely check these out and keep them in mind. One of the things I think is most important to remember is that when you lower the power level of some things, I think it kind of raises the power level of others, or at the very least, if you're up here and you lower some things, it kind of evens things out. And I think I've seen lots of changes to Hearthstone cards over the years through different standard seasons and such, and these ones seem to be pulling the metagame into a much more fair position. So for example, Aura Paladin has a ton of very good cards in it, but the cards in other classes were just significantly more powerful. You know, the combos you could do with Druid, Rogue, Warrior were just better. And so I think this gives the opportunity for things like Aura Paladin or just, you know, other decks that don't exactly get much limelight to be able to step in and have an impact on the metagame. And it also, I think, forces people to play more new cards. So it makes Across the Timeways, I think, a little bit more relevant. Not too much, but just enough where I think we've got a pretty level metagame as of right now. Like I said, I've played a couple of games, and it seems like there's a little bit of a shift. Like I really like seeing Dragon Warrior out there on the ladder. It seems like a very good deck. I think I've lost to it just about every time I've played against it. It's a very good deck, and it's probably one of the ones I'm going to be building next and testing on stream and throwing some videos on YouTube. But for now, I'm kind of stuck in like Aura Paladin, Toolbox type Paladin. I'm a big fan of cards like Toy Captain and, you know, some of those other guys. So there's a lot of fun stuff out there, and I think these changes really open up the metagame to a new chapter. So thanks for watching. Definitely check out the YouTube and the Twitch, same handle across both of them. But lots of fun stuff coming. Got a lot more videos. And follow and like and subscribe and all that fun stuff. I hate asking, but it makes a difference. So if you're already following, big thank you. If you're not, even just a like makes a big difference. Tells that dreaded algorithm to put my stuff in front of more people, which obviously makes a difference for the channel. And also make sure, if you're a hip-hop fan, definitely check out Daily Hip Hop. I've been curating that playlist for about a decade now, maybe a little bit more. I think I might be at 11 or 12 years now. But it's essentially my pet project I've been doing. I used to have a corporate job, and I got tired of listening to the same Jay-Z songs over and over, which was essentially a lot of what I listened to. That and Meek Mill and Lil Wayne. I still love Lil Wayne, but Daily Hip Hop, unlike other playlists that just kind of switch a couple songs around and take a couple off, you know, add a couple here, I literally scrap the whole thing every day and re-curate it from scratch with a new 20 songs. So it's always something new every single day, so it'll give you something new and interesting, and sometimes it won't be your flavor. I try to mix it up with a bunch of different flavors, so there's days that it's not for everybody, but I do this for me, and that's why it's my pet project. So much love to everybody. Peace and love. Appreciate you guys, and catch you next time.